Moldy eggs. Yum, yum, yum.
Oh, it starts again, like I've never been away.
Off I go.
Feel it rising like the fire. Feel it running through my veins. Oh, it starts again, like I've never left this place. Like my prodigal return to an old familiar place.
So it rained last night, and didn't rain too heavily, but it rained enough to get everything wet. My chair's wet. I like to sit down and drink my coffee, and I can't, so wah. So I've gone around and gathered as much dry wood as I could from underneath tall standing pines, especially a couple of them close together, and it would shield the ground from the moisture. So there's a little pile of dry kindling there. And then over here I got a pile of wet kindling. And then behind it I got some wet branches I've broken up. Wet on the outside, dry on the inside. And over here I've got lots of birch bark paper. Birch bark and birch bark paper. So what I'll do is I'll just tear off a couple rolls. Oh, that didn't work. Okay. There we go. There we go, like this. And then take the dry stuff and sort of wrap it up in a roll like this. Best as I can, and I can just place it in the fire pit, and then I can fire it up. And as the flame gets bigger and as the wood inside starts to ignite, I can start feeding slowly some of this wet kindling on top, and the smoke and the heat from the flame will start to dry it off, and it will also catch fire. This is actually not too bad of an example, but you know, there have been, like, it could be pouring rain right now, and it's like it would be difficult to start a fire, but it's not without the realm of possibility. I mean, if you got birch bark, anything's possible. But you can cheat a little. You can throw a nice tarp above you to shield the fire pit from the rain. Now, if it's really windy and it's rainy, you could be in trouble. What you could do is, if there's another fire pit, some campsites will have a secondary fire pit, usually like on the east side, if you're like on an island or something, so to get you out of the wind. Or you can build up the fire pit with lots of rocks to shield it from the wind, and tarp accordingly so that the wind and the rain stays out of the fire pit. Another trick I'll do sometimes is, if I know it's gonna rain, or you know, even if you're not sure of the weather, you can collect wood beforehand when it's dry and store it. Store it under some big trees or in the vestibule of your tent, and that way in the morning you have dry wood and you won't have such a big problem trying to get started. But I have started a fire in the rain before, heavy rain, and what I did is I had a couple old birch logs, big punky logs, that I'd throw over top of the fire pit to shield it from the rain, and I found some dry needles and some birch bark paper and some small twigs and lit a fire underneath, and eventually I got it to the point where, like, it was like this. It was very meticulous. Take small twigs like this, a few at a time, and you just keep feeding the fire. I know it's a very meticulous, slow process, but you know, after like half an hour or so, you could get yourself a pretty good fire going. And the birch logs would end up smoldering all day, but you would have to constantly feed it wood. But as the fire became hotter and more stable, you could put bigger logs in and then just walk away and leave it alone for a little bit at a time. But you would have to, you know, feed your fire throughout the day. But I've had one going during the rain, heavy rains too. And but a tarp and dry wood beforehand helps. And like, we're on an island here, so we collected some on the mainland before we came to the island, and that helps too. There's a lot of dead wood in Algonquin Park. Some places are like a bomb ready to go off because of the firefighting efforts that we have here. Natural forest fires are discouraged here, so whenever there's a fire, they put it out as soon as they can. And as a consequence, there's a lot of dead dry wood kicking around in the park. And you know, if we get a really, really hot year, you know, this area could be in trouble, as most people might have seen with Parry Sound 33 fire this year up in the French River region. A lot of devastation in that area. But fire is awesome, and it's even more awesome in the rain when you're cold and wet. But it can be achieved through some patience and planning, and you should be good to go. Never give up, keep searching, and you'll find the right amount of wood and fuel to keep yourself warm and dry throughout a rainy day. Moldy eggs. Yum, yum, yum. Look at that. Beauty. Just one little egg McMuffin sandwich each. 2 strips of bacon, some maple wood cheddar on Maple Lake, and with an egg on an English muffin. Or an English muffin! I've been out here too long. Quick, eggs burning. No. Quickly. And breakfast is served. When I'm guiding, I'll make these for the clients. Absolutely. They love stuff like this. And if I have the time and the firewood, I'll do it over the fire for them. So get a little bit of a rustic feeling to cooking outdoors instead of over propane fueled stove. I'm gonna wear my raincoat today, or at least have it at the ready, because I think it's gonna rain some more. So it could be a miserable trip down Maple Creek today. But we'll get to Kiosk and we'll set up camp and get a nice hot fire going, dry some stuff out, and if we get wet, and have dinner, and then pack up tomorrow and get out of here and head over to the west side of the park. Yum, yum, yum. That's it. Breakfast is served. So it's day 7, I think. Yeah, day 7. And we're leaving my campsite here on Maple Lake. And we're heading up to the north end of the lake, where we're gonna go on Maple Creek again all the way down to Kiosk. This section of Maple Creek is my favorite creek in the park. It's beautiful paddle. It doesn't involve the mayhem that we had on the upper part of Maple Creek south of Arabla. So it should be a nice paddle down. There's a couple falls to check out, maybe a logging camp, maybe an old logging cabin, or remnants of a logging cabin. And it's been 3 days now, we haven't seen anybody, so I'm sure we'll see people in Kiosk, but on the way down, hopefully we won't see anybody. Maybe we'll see a moose. Who knows? That's an excellent campsite for inclement weather. It's protected very well from northwest winds. I think that was the first site I ever camped on the first time I ever came up to Maple Lake. Yeah, it was a long time ago. It was like 20 years ago. Yeah. Wow, water is low. I mean, usually that log is floating. Unless it's been pushed up by winds and rain. Used to step out onto that log. Oh, look at the red paint on that rock. Ooh. do, 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 do. There we go. Hit the cameraman in the head, bonk. Okay. we're waiting for Todd to come back with the last barrel. As you can see here, we've got one canoe over here at the landing, and another one over here behind the cameraman pushed to the side, so that if another party was to come up, they have a place to take out. We're not blocking the landing, so they have a clear exit. And that's kind of important. Even in a remote place like this, you never know who's coming through. And it's good portage etiquette to leave room for other people and not have your stuff cluttered all over the trail. Just put it off to the side, and it helps everyone all get about their business of the day. So yeah, I like this setup. This is nice, and the river is really high, so it's easy for us to put in. So we're gonna paddle through this marsh for about maybe 20 minutes, and we're gonna come to the next portage, and at the end of that portage there's a real nice set of falls. So we're probably gonna break out the snacks and have a little mini lunch and take some pictures of the falls before we continue down the river, down the creek. So it should be good. Holy shit. I thought you said it was just a barrel. Thank you, sir. You're a machine.
So next time I say that there's just the blue barrel, someone has come with me. Because I'm wrong. Oh my god! Oh, what else is there? Lens and my camera.
Hold on a sec. Okay, I got her.
Okay. Oh. That's fine.
We're at the end of the 630 meter portage on Maple Creek. It's actually quite lovely here. There's some nice falls. And so we're halfway down the creek. 3 portages done, 3 to go. And yeah, we're having a snack. There's some nice waterfalls over there. Okay, heading on down the river. Okay, it's not a river, it's a creek. Feels like a river though. Well, here we are at the 90 meter portage. It's raining, and well, it's not going to stop us. You got to keep going. But you know, it just makes the day a little more unpleasant. So, as long as it doesn't start thundering and lightning. But yeah, at least we'll be able to get the, you know, hopefully we'll get a camp set up, nice dry tents, dry sleeping bags, and get a hot dry fire going. Hot dry fire, as opposed to a wet fire. Yeah. Anyways. We got a couple more hours of this misery to put up with, and then we'll be on Kiosk and we'll get camp set up and relax. Rocks. Rocks. I know you probably can't see a trail, but this is a trail. Oh, here's some old bunk beds. logging camps. There's a whole bunch more over there. There's a clearing back here too. I don't know what was here, gardens or buildings, I have no idea. But you can see that this land was cleared. And it's kind of wet and miserable right now, and walking through these will just rip your clothes apart. So I think we're just gonna keep moving. But that's all I found the last time was that and a pair of deer antlers. So that was cool. But yeah, lots of beds. Pretty neat history of the park, you know. A lot of the park was opened up by loggers, and actually in the last trail, we didn't show you, but there was a lot of trees along the trail where there were like little vertical scores, or what we call them blazes in the tree. And in the old days when they were opening up trails, and I'm assuming it was the loggers, when they were clearing the trails, they would take an axe at about shoulder height and notch the tree with it on both sides. And this way you could keep track of where you were going in the forest. Nowadays the trails are so well worn you don't need to really follow those blazes that are still in the trees today. They're ancient, most of them are scarred over, but they're still there, and they're more prevalent in the older parts of the park, like the east side and the north side. But they're there. Look for them next time you're on a portage. It's a bit of history in that notch that you see there. Could be well over 100 years old, maybe 150. But yeah, pretty neat. Something to look for the next time you're on a portage in Algonquin Park. Oh, look, it's an old stove cover, I think. 1901. Airtight. 1901. So it's obviously a stove. That's pretty cool. Cast iron. Solid stuff. You can see the canoes from here. Look at that. There's another old trail through here. Well, we'll take this trail back to the canoes. That's it. Let's get this portage. Let's get her done, and then we've got a nice long paddle. Last portion of Maple Creek. It's a beautiful stretch. Probably my most favorite stretch of creek in the park. And then we got the last portage, I don't know, 740 something meters into Kiosk. And the rain is lightening up a little bit, so hey. We're not going to see the sun today, but that's okay. It's warm. It's probably about 16 degrees out, 18 degrees. So it's comfy for late summer. What the hell's that? You see that crap behind you in the bush? What the? Yeah, this really irks me. You know, you come out here and you see this crap going on. What is this? New walleye, catch more fish. It must be fish mix. Oh, complete fishing kit. Yeah, you know, seeing this really ticks me off, but picking it up, I enjoy even less. But you know what? Again, this isn't the place for this stuff. But I find trash sometimes. You know, I try and pick it up if I can. Sometimes if I'm just too overloaded with gear and I don't want to drop my canoe and go back for it, but it's right here near the landing. There's no big deal, which I don't even get why it's there. I mean, it's bad enough you get like trash in the bush, plastic in the ocean. Lord knows what's going to be the next big rage in trash devastating the planet. We certainly don't need it up here. Rain's getting heavier again. Yeah, it's been there for a few years now. Didn't used to be one there many years ago, and then all of a sudden I came up here one year and there was the dam. Seems to be getting bigger every year. There's a leak in it though over here. So I don't know if it's being maintained or not. There's some fresh beaver chew over there, but I don't. See the logging cabin remnants on the side of the trail? No? It's right there. I don't know if it was a ranger cabin or a logging cabin or what, but I get the idea. It's pretty old. Might have been a ranger cabin. The park had a lot more ranger cabins back then than they do now. So pretty cool. There's 6:31 and yeah, we're launching on the Kiosk. It's been raining all afternoon. We'll get ourselves all dry and comfy, cozy, and we'll relax and then hit the hay, and then tomorrow we'll be on our way. Alright, so we're at camp on Kiosk. It's, I don't know, getting close to 7 o'clock. We're not going to have much light for too long, so give you a bit of a grand tour here. So here's a fire pit and the vent system. I'm already getting ideas in my head for a tarp setup. We're going to put up a tarp tonight, get a nice fire going. There is some kindling left behind. Not much in the way of firewood, but we'll remedy that. We'll go get some firewood. As long as we got kindling, that works. So come on in the back, and we're looking at tenting options. It's quite a nice view up here. It's all rocky and lots of cedar and hemlock on this site. It gives a nice view of the north side of the lake. But back here, there's lots of tenting options. There's lots of cedar back here. They're in good shape. This is a tenting option here. It's quite dry. You got a lot of hemlocks and cedars hanging above it. Here's another option. However, you can see where it rained today and a wet spot here and here. During a heavy rainstorm, it would pool up in here and possibly creep into this area. I'm not expecting heavy rain, so I recommend that we can put a tent here and have a door coming out down this way. If you were expecting heavy rain, I wouldn't camp here though. That's a swimming pool trap. Here, you look over here, it's very dry because you got a humongous hemlock here. This is the kind of tree that deer like to hang out in and underneath in the wintertime, because the snow depth will be very shallow because this tree will hold up a lot of snow. But this would be a good spot too, but it's a bit of a slope and there's rock there, so it's not really viable to pitch a tent unless you really were desperate. But it's very dry under here. It doesn't even look like it rained down here today. Some trees have been knocked down and cut up. I don't know what the story is behind that. Moving on over here, we're going to pick this spot. Again, it's flat with some wet spots around it where it's come through the trees. But this spot's dry and it's on a bit of a hump. It's raised. So this is perfect, ideal condition to camp. So if it's raining, the water is going to kind of drain away from you, away from the tent. Just like how you'd want to build a house. You want the rain to drain away from the foundation, not into the foundation. I'm seeing some damage on the birch bark here. This white birch tree, it's had some of its birch bark torn off. And look at the cedar tree here. Somebody's gone in and cut off the bark on this tree. I mean, This is very unhealthy for a tree. It invites disease and sickness. The tree can die from that. It's just not good. I mean, I see no reason why this should be done. There's another birch tree with some bark that's been torn off. I don't get it. I don't know why people do this. All you got to do is go back in the bush a little ways and there's all kinds of firewood to be had. Sure, it takes a little extra effort, but doing that will warm you up. And coming back to camp, you'll have a decent supply knowing that you've done something right. You haven't hurt any trees or any live vegetation. So it's the way you camp. It's the way I camp. Camp like you care. Just take a little extra time and effort and you can leave the forest in better shape than when you saw it. So we got to get going. We got to get set up before it gets dark. I'm going to want to get up a tarp, get our tents going. We've got to go back into the forest and collect real firewood in the dark with headlamps, but that's not too bad of an issue. But yeah, the problem with a hemlock forest is you don't get much firewood. Like deadfall, you got to go further back, and that's when you start hitting the maples. So maple firewood is most desirable, though. If we can get some of that, that'd be awesome. Have a nice hot fire tonight. Yum, yum, yum. Yeah, it is kind of moldy, isn't it? Look at that. Ew. This is a spam sandwich. Spam, 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 spam. Lovely spam, lovely spam. Green eggs, bacon, and eggs, and spam. I love spam. So there we go there. Here we go. Oh, look at that lovely spam. Yum, yum, yum. Oh, God. All right, so we cut it in two. Right, so it folds over like that. Put cheese on it. Lots of cheese. Mayo. There we go, and there's my spam sandwich. Yum, complete with dirt and pine needles. Okay, here goes. Lovely spam. It's good stuff, honest. Put a bit of mayo on there and cheddar cheese. Oh, it's good stuff. I remember when I was a kid, my father used to give us fried spam. You're probably wondering why I haven't thrown up yet. Because I like it. It's good. Camping spam is awesome. But you need mayo. And the cheddar cheese rocks too. Pretty good. You know, I mean, it's a lot better than the stuff we used to get in the 70s. So. That's it. All done. Yum, yum, yum. Spam! Okay.
It was the grossest thing I've seen all day, and I want one.
Okay. Mark's Kitchen. Here we go. I had more spam. Oh, it's in here. That's right. Okay, here we go. We got one here. Spam Single Classic.
I'm scared.
And this one expires in February 2020. So Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's coming out. Nice and pink, and it's even got a little bit of fat on the edge. Okay. There we go. Give them a little extra slab of cheese. And this one's for me. Okay. And my last packet of mail, just for you. Okay, there we go. Oh, that mail goodness. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Yum. Okay, so. Come on, it won't come off. You cut it or not? There we are. Okay, so here we go. Like that. Don't tear. Please don't tear. Like a pocket. Here you go, sir.
Yes.
Enjoy.
Right on. Thank you, Chef Mark.
Spam pockets. Yum,
See how
yum.
this goes.
I should get out of the way because I am probably in the line of fire here.
Yum, yum, yum.
Yeah. Not bad.
I'm starving, so.
There you go. That's the best time to eat it. If you're full, you probably wouldn't want to eat it, but yeah. Good job on the fire, Matt and Todd. Awesome. Got a nice tarp up too. Drying off the clothes. Oh, we got some water there we got to get rid of. But yeah, good job. Okay, so this is night 7. We're on Kiosk. We got we got to camp here at 6:30 or 6:45ish or something like that, or before 7 p.m. and we left camp on Maple at 11 a.m. this morning. A lot of filming was done on the way down, hence the long travel time down the Kiosk. It rained on and off. It's been raining a little bit more again tonight. The wind is starting to pick up now. So yeah, we did 6 portages, paddled a lot, set up camp in the rain, and it's 10 o'clock at night now, and I'm very tired. I didn't eat dinner. I just had some gorp and some jerky and a Spam sandwich. I had a Spam sandwich. And now I just had a hot chocolate, so I'm ready to go to bed. And, well, that's it for today. I mean, you know, we didn't see any moose on this trip. It's kind of disappointing, but that's the way it is in September. Sometimes it's a gamble. They you know, they start to move inland and they're getting ready for the rut. It's when they like to mate. And they usually don't eat as much during that time of the year. So we did see an otter today. That's about it. Saw an old logging camp remnants, an old cabin, remnants of a cabin. That's it. I'm tired and I'm sore. So yeah, it's been a good day though. I mean, you know, I've paddled and portage, camped in other types of weather like that, or weather similar to this, like when it's heavy rain. So as far as rain goes, like we've had it really good today. Very light rain, but it's been pretty constant for the last few hours, so it starts to soak in after a while. But I'm starting to get a little bit chilled now because I'm damp. I've even changed into dry clothes, but the air is damp, and you know, and just the fire's not big enough, and I'm just like, I'm ready to go to bed anyways. So that's it for today, and hopefully our trip tomorrow down to access number 4 will go smoothly. We're driving out tomorrow and going around down to the west side of the park into Rain Lake access. And that's it for now. I'll talk to you later.
What do you expect me to do? I'm eating here.
Matt's Kitchen.